when I was going into my freshman year, I got on social media, and social media is very dangerous. And, you know, you'll post your little pictures and your crop tops and stuff like that, and a older man, you know, slide into my DM, and then I was so unaware of exactly what was happening and so oblivious of what was happening that I went ahead. I was telling him what school I went to, what my address. I was telling him when my mama went to work, just everything.
He could have kidnapped you. Shoot.
And he did.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big.
Check it. It's a unique hustle. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
Nothing. All going. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us from all social media platforms. When I mean all, I mean our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. You name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us on the streets and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we be a part of Boss Talk? This is how you can be a part of Boss Talk. Under each and every interview, including this one right here in the description section below, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions. That's how you get to see all the exclusive content. Y'all been asking us, where's this interview? Where's that interview? You got to be a member to see it, or go ahead and download our app at Boss Talk 101 on any Apple or Google store. Thank you, and we love you.
Man, listen, guys, we got a special treat in here for y'all today. She don't need no introduction. This young lady is special. She about to tell us her story, how God has blessed her life, right? So, welcome Kristian to the show. What's going on, Kristian?
Hi, I am so honored to be here. And I'm excited.
Yeah, man, we excited to have you. That's what's real. So, you know, I ain't going to take over the interview because I'm known for taking over the interview. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I talk loud. I cut up. Everybody expect that. Then you got Miss Jamaica who starts this whole thing off. Without Miss Jamaica, we wouldn't be starting like this. Let's go.
So, Kristian, so you're born and raised in Fort Worth?
Yes.
What part of Fort Worth?
Yes, the north side of Fort Worth.
North side of Fort Worth?
Yes. So I grew up in Keller.
Okay.
Yes.
Keller?
You was the only sister out there.
Because Keller isn't a bad area,
It's a predominantly white area.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I got people out there, people I work with. That's where they be from, Keller.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I hear Keller, I didn't even realize Keller was in Fort Worth. I thought it was like...
Yes, it's still Tarrant County.
Right. Yeah. I didn't realize that.
It's got that racetrack thing out there.
I'm not that far out.
Yeah.
But
how big is Keller?
Keller is a small town.
Okay.
It's like it's considered like a small town.
What was it like growing up in Keller, since he said it's predominantly...
Yes, there was times where I was the only black girl in my class. In my classroom, yes. So I just always grew up around white people, and I just got adjusted to it. I didn't know nothing else, you know, because I was raised since a little girl around them, and it was normal for me. Yeah.
Did you ever ask your parents, Mom, why move to Keller? Why Keller?
I think when I grew up and I kind of understood that, I started to realize, okay, there's not many people with the same skin tone as me. Right. I was wondering, you know, because we would go and visit our cousins on the south side of Fort Worth, and I always had a fun time over there. I was like, it's not like Keller. So, you know, she just wanted a better life for us, you know, better opportunities. And but I did, you know, go around different parts of Fort Worth, and I got to experience being around, you know, other different cultures.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of being in a school where it's predominantly not you?
So, from what I heard at black schools, you know, you got to be fresh and dress a certain way. At the white schools, they just come with like some khaki shorts, a t-shirt, your shoes probably a little scuffed up and dirty. They really don't care about appearance, and I really never had to compete when it came to having like the nicest clothes, or your mom pulling up in a certain car, your parents, you know, having certain things, or your house being a certain way. There was never that competition there.
Okay. So where is the competition then? Is it academically?
It's academics, yes. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're really heavy on books and getting scholarships and doing like honorary classes and stuff like that. So education I think Keller SD. I'm not sure how it is today because I've been out of school for a minute. I graduated in 2014. So, but back then, academics was that was the competition.
Okay. Were you raised in a household with your mom and your dad?
I was raised I say a little while because my dad was in and out my life. He left, I believe, around 6 because completely.
When you were 6?
Yeah, he didn't want to have any parts to do with me or my brother.
Okay.
So
it was only 2 of y'all?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's always been me, my mom, and my brother.
Okay, when you were 6. So, but between birth and 6, he was still in and out a little bit?
He was in and out. My dad, he runs the streets. Okay. And he's been known just to do that his whole life.
Did you have a close relationship with him?
No, I did not.
No?
Not.
Because you know what, sometimes what I've learned about family and dynamics, a lot of times it's the person that's normally never there is the person that the child normally sort of yearn for and want them to be around and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I was like, so how did you feel when he left and never came back and stuff like that? Because as a kid, you don't understand certain things.
I think that's where that spirit of rejection came from. It's rooted, it started with my father.
So you felt like it was because of you? That
as
he
a
left?
young girl, you think, well, what did I do? Why doesn't my dad want to love on me and be in my life? So as a child, you start making up these different scenarios of maybe you did something or, you just long for your father and you want to be accepted and you want that relationship. And I never got that from him.
Did your mom ever sit you down and try to comfort you, try to talk to you about it? Or just left you to deal with it? Did your dad ever... Can you say you never saw him again after that?
Well, I have sporadically throughout the years.
Okay. Had he ever sat down with you and be like, baby girl, I could not be there because of...
No. Not at all. Not at all. All he knows is the streets, and to this day, he's running the streets in Dallas somewhere doing something.
How old is he?
He has to be almost 50.
Oh, so he was young when he had you.
Yes, my mom was 19. Okay. I believe... I think my dad may be a year older than her.
Okay.
So I bet he is closer to 50.
Because I was just about to say...
He's at least 49, 50, at least.
I was just about to say, he's too old to be running the streets.
Yeah, I don't keep up with his age anymore, his birthday.
At all?
No, I don't keep up with his life.
So when did you realize... How old were you when you realized that your dad not being there affected your life? How old were you?
I had to be at least 12, I believe like 12 or 13. It really started to affect my mental.
How?
Like I said, that spirit of rejection just it planted a seed at the age of 6, and I believe it just started to just grow just weeds out of the soil from him not being in there. But because they'll have like dad dances at the school, because mind you, I went to like a nice school district, so I always had like a lot of family oriented events and stuff like that. So my dad's and donuts, my dad's not there. Daddy and daughter dances, or just any type of like curricular activities, or just things. I missed out on that. Maybe him coming to like my sports games, and my mom kept me active in like baseball and just different sports throughout the year, basketball. And you look in the crowd and you want, you see other people with their parents, both parents, because usually in predominantly white areas, they have both parents. And then I just have my mom, if she can't make it, because mind you, I live in a one-parent household because she's usually working. So she did her best. She did, to show up and always be there for me. But
she didn't have another male companion that stepped in to be dad for you?
No, I've never had that.
Never had that. But you didn't give me an example of how. I understand because you say it affected your mental. I understand the father-daughter dance and all of that, but how at 12 did it affect you other than that? Like acting out, because some people act out.
Oh, yes.
So I'm trying to see, how did you act out at even 12, and how old were you when you first started acting out?
About that age.
Okay.
Yes. I was very rebellious as a child.
Give me an example.
If my mom told me not to do something out of at the time, I thought she just didn't want me to have fun. But I saw it at her as her trying to control me. And I just was very rebellious. She'll tell me to do something and I would do the opposite. Like Kristian, the stove is, for example, like the Kristian, the stove is hot. Oh, well, I don't believe you. Let me test it. So
You
she told
actually
me not,
did that.
Not that was just like
Okay.
like an example.
Right.
But she'll tell me not to do something, and I'll go do the opposite, just out of rebellion. I think out of being angry that I didn't have my father, and not really, you know, as a child, you really don't understand like what's going on. Why can't they work out together? Why can't you? There's something that you can do to get this man back in our lives. Like, what are you not doing? Did he not leave? You know, not understanding the full concept of why, like, did my mom do something? Why are y'all not together?
Did you hear arguments? Did you see fights?
Yes. My dad was very abusive, physically.
And although you saw that, you still wanted him back.
Yes, to this day, I long for a relationship with my father. I love him as if he has been in my life every day. Like we've had a relationship, and I've never had a relationship with him, and I still love him and honor him. The Bible says to honor your mother and father. I still honor him as if he has always been there. So yeah, I miss him. I would love to have a relationship with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the one thing about it, when that father's not there, I think God has a hedge of protection around you. I think everything that you do is pretty much pushing you into a place where you need to be, even the bad parts. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Every situation got you to this situation. So I think that's something that you gotta value. You know what I mean? And that place of disconnect with your father, I know that the word of God says, if any man be in Christ, he a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things become new. When I learned that scripture, I always say on this show that it changed my life because I had a second chance at life. So once that slate is wiped clean and you say you believe God, then your heavenly father should definitely be the pinnacle of who your father is today.
Yes.
But secondly, it also should give you a place where you start to learn to forgive your father and everybody else who done you wrong. In Mark chapter 11 and 23, it says, if you had a faith the grain of a mustard seed, you'll be able to say to that mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea, and it shall be done. But it says if you have an ought against your brother, you got to leave.
Leave it.
And you got to go and take care of that. So I think it's so important that every barrier, every obstacle that tries to stop you from connecting to God in the way that you should, you got to remove those things through forgiveness.
Yes.
And I was talking to Chris Calico, and he said, but the word of God don't give you a place of how you forgive.
Like a roadmap of how to do it.
How to
But
forgive.
it does.
Just tell you to forgive.
It does.
It does. I agree with you. The thing I just say is you find that place to where you can, start to let those things go, because a lot of time it misposition you, and you'll miss certain things if you're not positioned a certain way to receive that blessing, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the whole game. You know what I'm saying? And so you'll get it.
Yes.
We all are works in progress. You know what I mean? And so nobody's perfect. The word of God say, be ye perfect as I'm perfect, in 5:48 of Matthew. But guess what? We only perfect through the perfectness of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
That's the way we believe. So at the end of the day, I think that's important to read, study, understand, and grow so that you'll be able to stop those penetrations where Satan is trying to use those things that he kept you back with. And he always used those same little tools because he's only a prince and powers of this world, but we are supernatural beings when it comes to Jesus.
Yes.
But I'm going to give it back to you.
And I always believe that
Yeah.
the reason why I like to ask these questions and stuff, because I feel like God put us through different things for a reason. It's a lesson for us to learn and to help others. I've met so many people who would be ashamed of things that they go through and try to hold that lesson in and not try to tell it to the world, because I love the podcast setting, because before you talk to this person and you can help this person, but now you can tell the world your story and help so many other people. There are other kids who, and this is so human nature, just like you said, you don't listen to your parents. Your mom will think that she's holding you back, but she's doing it out of love. But a child could be sitting down watching, because they'll be on social media, they'll be on YouTube, they'll be watching videos they shouldn't be watching. And I always pray to God, say, God, whoever's supposed to see this video, let them see it. And a child could be seeing the video and be like, oh, I'm going through that right now. I understand what she's saying. I see I could be going down that same road, but because of what she said, let me really rethink this
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I tell people, tell your story, tell everything that you've been through, because you don't know who you're going to help.
Yes.
You see what
and
I mean?
I did want to mention at that age of 12, that's when I started to like do some type of sort of negative talk. I would talk down on myself because my father wasn't in my life. I'd be like, look, your dad don't want you. No man will ever want you. Like, start like that demonic spirit, that voice started to activate and just tell me lies, and I started to believe them. Like,
and that's something you didn't learn from anybody. That
no
you just
one
did that.
ever. My mom never spoke bad about my father. No one in my family. Like I said, it was a spirit. Now that I have the revelation, because no one was talking to me about my father in a negative way, or giving me these negative
there's no
thoughts.
Learned behavior.
It was learned behavior for this negative talk that I was giving myself. But around the age of 12, I was like, your own daddy don't want you. Like, you're not valuable. You have no value. You have no worth in this earth. And you like, I just thought I had no purpose.
Who's older, you or your brother?
Me.
You. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how did your brother handle? How old was he when Dad left?
So we're a few years apart. He just turned 25.
So he don't remember a lot of things.
Not too much, yeah.
So it didn't affect him as much.
Not as much.
Okay.
Yeah. Not as much.
What about you as you got older and you started to become a young lady? When you first started to go out, deal with boys and stuff, or what type of relationships did you find yourself when you first just started having boyfriends? Was it
clingy or?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I was always into, of course, older men, because I didn't have my father, so I longed for that older man. And
how old were you first got your first boyfriend?
I believe my first boyfriend was probably, it was in middle school, right? Just dating this guy at the school. But when I was going into my freshman year, I got on social media, and social media is very dangerous. And you'll post your little pictures and your crop tops and stuff like that, and a older man,
slipped into your DM,
slide into my DM, and then I was so unaware of exactly what was happening, and so oblivious of what was happening, that I went ahead. I was telling him what school I went to, what my address. I was telling him when my mama went to work. Just everything.
He could have kidnapped you. Shoot.
And he did.
He kidnapped you?
Yes, he did. At the age of 15. I was a freshman in high school.
So before he kidnapped you, y'all went places together? You met him?
No.
You didn't? So this was just...
We met online.
Okay.
And my mom would go to work early in the day. Early in the morning. So she would already be gone to work. My brother would already went to... Because he was in... elementary, middle school, so he's already walked on his way to school. And I had a car at the time. I had a permit because my mom was a single parent. The judge actually was able to give me a permit so I can start driving at 15, because I was the one that was responsible for picking up my brother. So I had a car and was driving at 15. Of course, I had like a limit of the hours I would be able to drive, but that's how I was able. Like, I was able to drive at 15 that way. So like I said, we met online. And he started coming over. And of course, when he coming over, we were having sex. Mm-hmm. And
how old was he?
He was 27.
Okay, and you was 15.
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
Just putting it out there.
Yes. And he was aware. Like I said, he knew I was on the drill team. Mind you, I was probably out of 65 girls, only 2 black girls, me and one other black girl on the team. So like, you're pretty popular. You make it on the team, you're on drill team, and like it's a big deal. So he knew, like, when I went to practice, everything like that, he'd come over, have sex with me, and then there was I felt like he was becoming obsessed with me. I thought he was just infatuated with me, but it was to a point to where at nighttime he would want to see me. Obviously, I can't open the door and leave, so he would be like, "Oh, just open your blinds, and I'm gonna go in the backyard and just look at you while you're in your room." He's like, "Just be in your room, just do what you do in your room." And
this a black guy?
Yes,
wow.
He's actually black and Hispanic. He's mixed. His mother is full Hispanic woman.
Yeah, okay. And you basically. You're young and you're just trying to figure it out. You think you're in love. People you know, we try to act like this is brand new, right? That a 15-year-old will go to a 20-something-year-old. I seen it when I was growing up. People try to act like, y'all, that it don't happen, but it happens all the time.
It happens a lot.
And people try to play games with that, and I gotta say that because I seen it.
I had friends in high school who
they
did
do
it.
it. Everybody done
like
it.
it's the norm.
But it don't make it right. But it was done. I've never done it in my life.
They were like the hot girls for doing it.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But then yours was different because you just was inexperienced in trying to fit. You just was gullible.
Very gullible.
Yeah.
But
very
how?
much so.
Okay, so he was coming over all the time doing that. But when did he kidnap you?
So, I don't want to skip this part though.
Okay, go ahead.
Mind you, I was dating this popular football player. So I was a freshman
During that time when you were
yes.
doing, okay.
And he was a junior at the time. And of course, I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah.
So the guy the older man that I was talking to at the time, he had anger issues, and I can't remember to this day what I did, but I pissed him off, and he ended up beating me up that morning to where I went to school and I had marks on my face, and I started to have like a black eye was starting to form. And I got home and my mom was like, "What happened? Did you get in a fight? Like, Kristian, tell me what happened." And I lied out of just being scared and trying to protect him. I said that it was my boyfriend at the time, the football player.
Mm.
Yes, because my mom went to the principal and everything. She's like, you're going to tell me what happened. Did that boy do it? Who did it?
So that boy got blamed for something he didn't do.
Yes, and I'm so glad that because I just wouldn't talk and I wouldn't cooperate with them, it kind of just died down and they weren't able to.
Yeah, he could have pressed charges and everything.
Like it could have went really bad for him, and then he was trying to get a scholarship, and I'm so glad that nothing happened. He's an innocent boy. I'm so glad nothing ended up happening to him.
He did end up getting a scholarship and moving on?
Yeah, he moved on with his life.
Wow.
Yeah, hopefully that was a lesson he learned too.
No, I mean, he probably thought the worst of you. I would have. Like, if you lied on me, let's just be clear.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel like you wrong as hell for doing me like that. And I'm going to be like, no, I didn't touch her. Or we about to have I'm going to go off. I ain't going to lie to you.
But how many times people get arrested for stuff like that and it be incorrect and in prison for stuff where...
Correct, especially being up there. Especially being up there.
Yeah.
They looking
You know
for that.
what I mean?
That's what they want to do up there anyway.
Keller ISD.
Come on, man. He's a very small percentage up there.
He was black, right?
He was black.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, that's what I'm
very
telling you.
popular. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the coaches probably like you need to stay away from her.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what happened next?
So he was like, you know what, Kristian, you're gonna come and live with me. You're gonna come be with me, and it really wasn't let me think about it. It was, this is what I've decided, and you're gonna come with me. And if you do not come with me, I'm gonna kill your mom and your brother. And I believed him. I don't know if he was actually gonna do it or not, but he scared me enough to say that, because to this day I don't play about my family. So I believed him. I don't put nothing past nobody, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go because I don't want you to hurt them.
But how were you going to tell your mom that you're going to go live with a man that she don't even know?
He said, you're going to come with me. You're going to run away with me. And so one morning I wrote a note saying that I'm leaving. And I was just apologizing. I remember I wrote a little note. I ripped it out the journal. And I didn't tell them where I was going or what was going on. I was just like, I'm leaving. And I can't tell you why, but I love you and you didn't do nothing wrong. And I packed my little bags, and he went and got me, and we were driving down the highway, and I remember him taking my phone, because I was like, well, maybe you can just turn it off. He's like, no, they can still track it. Because I was like, well, I want my phone. And he's like, no. And I remember him throwing it out. He rolled down the window and threw it. I remember it bursting into flames because it hit like the medium on the side, and it like busted. I remember it kind of catching fire a little bit, and so there was no way for them to track me, because I believe they can track you even with the phone off some way, hitting the cell towers. So
did your mom call the police? Did she missing person?
Yes, I was put on a T-shirt and everything.
How long were you gone for?
I was gone for a few months.
Okay, so the police found you?
They did not. He was scared because it was about to reach the news. He had heard it on the radio, and it was getting bad, that she was doing everything in her power. You Googled my name and I popped up. And they were looking for me. They had they had a reward and everything. They had put money down for someone who had any information, and people were giving them stuff saying, oh, she's in Austin, she's here. And I was never at any of those places. I was literally in Fort Worth.
How far from your home were you?
Maybe 35 minutes.
Okay.
And so he lived by himself?
He lived with his mom.
Yeah, you over there with his mama.
But the thing is, his mom at the time had a boyfriend, so she was always over at his house. So that's kind of how it worked out. And for a while, he just hid me. Like, if she would ever come, it would just, you be quiet, you stay in the room. And that's kind of
so you were gone for a couple of months.
Yes.
When you get back home, let's get you back to the house. How did you end up going back home?
What I don't want to miss this part, but when I was with him, I became his sex slave.
Okay.
I became his sex slave while I was there.
Was that when you say sex slave? You did whatever he told you.
Whatever. He forced me to have anal. He made me give oral sex until I threw up. Then he would make me clean up after. He would get a belt and whoop me naked. He was just very violent with me, and I had to have sex on demand.
Wow. Man, I've heard some crazy story. I got this. I kept looking. I did this interview years ago, and it's the blind goddess, man, and she was blind, and she's a beautiful woman, but raped. The other lady, Miss Dr. McKinley, just came here, raped by her father and her stepfather at 6 and 8. You know what I mean? And then went and did a movie. She started doing plays, acting it out with the person who was a rapist. This is crazy stories, but healing stories, things that heal people. And I think your story heals people to tell your story, because there are times out there that other young girls go through stuff and they don't understand it. And they may be watching this show, sitting somewhere, and they old man just like watching podcasts, you know what I'm saying? And you pop up. And that little girl may hear this story and be able to gain strength to understand, hey, I ain't the only one that went through something like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the way I look at it. So you basically over there, she said she was a sex slave.
I heard that
He
part.
whooping her with a belt, making her throw up, doing all kind of oral sex.
And anal sex to where I would be bleeding. Yeah.
How did you survive all of that for a couple of months? Because he wasn't doing that to you when he was coming over to your house.
No. But while I was there, he manipulated me. I feel like once you can get in someone's mind, you can make them do whatever you want.
Especially because you're young and impressionable.
Yes.
Because you were still 15 at this time.
He's like, look, I took you, because of course when I'm telling him I don't have my father, so I'm like, all these things that I deal with, and he's using that to manipulate me.
Right.
Well, you see how your father didn't want you, I want you. That's why you're here with me. I love you. I'm gonna take care of you. You see how I feed you every day. I make love to you. Things like that. I give you attention, just making me think well, maybe okay. He is doing, you know what I'm saying? Just twisting it. It's wicked. It's demonic what's going on. And he would even go as far as taking pictures of my private parts. And I didn't know what he was doing with them. And later on, we found out when I came home and we went to the court case, I had to go through a file of pictures. And they had to say, Kristian, look and see which body part, what is yours? Because
so he had multiple.
Yes,
so he
was
done
into
this
child
before.
pornography.
Okay, so he put this online.
No,
or this was just for him.
I guess I can't remember verbatim what exactly they had uploaded to or what, but through the phone I did, because they confiscated his phone. I did have to go through and pick out my pictures.
So were you the only one that he done this to?
Maybe I'm the only one that he got caught with, because to this day he's a registered sex offender in the state of Texas. Because
he has multiple pictures, so if he was taking all of these pictures of these other people, it must have done it to other people.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was just, because it was just child pornography on the phone, so I don't know if, I can't remember, I was so young, and I've been through so much trauma, certain things, I just I blocked it out, so I just genuinely don't remember. I really don't.
So you say he was registered. He's registered now.
To this day.
Have you ever seen him again ever in life?
No, but when he got out of prison, they did. I didn't even know they did that, but they send you a letter. To your house, and they let you know, just so I guess you're aware. But
okay, so cause we skipped over this part. So 2 months, he just let you go because it was getting too heated.
It was getting too heated. Yeah.
So he let you go. and you went home.
Yes, and what's crazy, my mom at the time, she was attending church, and the pastor of the church had prophesied to her that Sunday that I was going to come home within the next week. So that Sunday, he said your daughter's coming home this week, and 2 days later I show up.
And then when you did, she asked you what happened, where you were, all of that sort of stuff.
I'm just silent. I'm just.
Oh, so you didn't just tell her?
Not at first. I kept it all bottled in.
So how long did it take you to open up and tell her?
It took me a while. They even put me in therapy. I had a few therapists, and I wouldn't even talk to the therapist. I just kept it all in.
So he was roaming around, like nothing happened at the time.
Yeah, I became angry with him because I finally realized that he was abusing me. It kind of clicked to me once I got home what exactly was going on. But he did get caught.
Because you told them and they went?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so what happened... What actually happened was he gave me a phone when I went back home, like a little, you could put money on the phone, and it's a little prepaid phone, and he's like, we're going to stay in contact, but let's keep it on the low. Oh. And so I remember I had drove to go see him. I was still seeing him off and on. I drove to go see him one day, and he started whooping me. And I'm like, I didn't come back for abuse. Like, I didn't come back for this. I came back for love, and you said you're going to treat me different. And I remember running out of that apartment that day and screaming and yelling.
How old was you? 15?
I had to be at least almost. No, I was still 15. I was still 15 at the time.
So you were going through therapy, but you still went back and saw him.
Yes.
That's why I always tell people all the time that's why most abuse starts here first, because if they get you here, it's almost like how do you retrain your mind to not be back in those situations?
Oh my gosh, because I saw how violent my dad was with my mom, and I kind of created this thing like, okay, so if a man puts his hands on you, it's a way of him showing he loves you. I don't really get it, but maybe that's what I deserve. I don't know.
No, that's the thing.
It happens.
Conclusion I came up with.
Some people think like that. I've heard that story more than once. How
I have too.
People feel like that's how people show love after they've witnessed abuse. You know what I mean? It can trigger you in all kind of ways. So. Man.
That's why some women end up in so toxic relationships where when the man is walking out because he doesn't want to hit her, she'll be like, no, you stay, because she really want him to fight her, hit her, whatever. Because if he doesn't provoking it, that's where I think makeup sex comes from.
Yes,
and which is not healthy because here you're in this toxic relationship, but then you're gonna do this and think that it's okay now. That's not right.
Exactly.
So, how much time did he get?
He got a few years. He didn't stay in there as long as I wanted him to. I was even wrestling with going down to the courthouse and actually testifying against him.
So you didn't testify?
But I did.
Okay.
I wrestled with it for a while, but I did. I had wrote out a whole little passage of what I was going to say, and I read it verbatim. I wrote what I wrote. I said it into the mic, and I was actually proud of myself that I did that. I don't believe the devil wanted me to go in there and advocate for myself. I think he would have got even more or less time. So I'm glad I did go in there and speak up, and I just poured my heart out. I'm a writer, so I poured my heart out into what I wrote on that paper that day.
So, you said when you got back, your mom had just started going to church, or she got into church.
She was already previously going to church.
Okay, so you used to go to church with her?
Yes.
Okay, so at that time, how did the church help you heal during that time? Because I know you got to think back to that time. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because as a child, our mind works differently compared to how we are now. So go back into that mind back then when she was making you go to church. Because most parents make you go to church. Yeah, they make you
wake up and put your Sunday dress on.
But they knew what you had went through.
Yes, because like I said, he had prophesied to her.
Right. So how did they try to help you?
I honestly don't remember if they did reach out to help. I wasn't aware. I was so shut down. I'm not saying that they didn't come and help. I don't know, because I was so shut down and traumatized in the mind. I was in a very dark place when I came back home. I was not myself. I was a completely different person. I would just sit in my room. I was actually diagnosed with major depressive disorder, anxiety, and I had major panic attacks.
And you were on medication?
Yes, up until the age of 27.
Wow,
I'm 29 now.
that long?
Wait a minute, you just got cleared up a little bit.
That's
Yes,
a long time.
I gave my life to Christ it'll be 2 years ago in July.
And that's when you stopped taking it?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. After that relationship, how do you end up going back to the streets and all that? You see what I'm saying?
And how
Going
old were you?
And like getting with somebody else who's abusive or who puts you in that situation, or did you just go to the streets? How do you end up?
I went to the street. So when so after, because what happened was so major and everyone knew about it, the school thought it was, and my mom wanted to move me, and she was like, well, you know, I feel like y'all should accommodate her in some type of way and allow her to move to different school, same district but different school, even though we're outside of the, you know, like the address.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She needs to be moved because there's too much going on. She didn't accuse this boy. People, you know, the school knows that she was missing. It was so much. So they made all the teachers like give me like pamphlets of work, and that's how I was able to go to the next grade. I had to catch up on all my work, and then they transferred me to another school so I can have like kind of like a fresh
start.
slate, fresh start. And I was still rebellious. Christians always wanted to do what Kristian wanted to do, either good or bad. I always had that mindset. If I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it, and that can be a very bad thing as well. So I always did what I wanted to do, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start hanging out with, you know, older people. And I was not going to school, so my mom almost got charged for truancy because I was not going to school and I was out in the streets trying to be grown. I was going to clubs. I was always hanging around dope boys all the time. I was in the streets. I wanted to be in a man's face. I had to be in a man's face. I desired to be with an older man. So.
Did you finish school?
I did. Okay. I did.
So you was going back and forth to your mom's house, finishing school, but still going back to the streets.
Yes.
And she couldn't stop you?
She could not stop me, and it was to the point where, like, you're out of control. I don't know what to do with you. You got to go live with your grandmother. So I've always been a grandma baby.
Where does your grandma live at?
In the same
Same city?
Same Keller?
So, well, basically, what she lived in Watauga and Keller, like, right here.
Okay.
A lot of people have never heard of Watauga.
No.
So, yeah, they're right next to each other, literally.
So you went and stayed with her?
Yes, because my mom just couldn't control me. I'm out of control.
But did your grandma control?
And she could not control me either. She could not. But I just think my mom said, "You're not gonna live under my roof and do what you want to do. You can't do that here."
So was you smoking, drinking, doing drugs, and all that good stuff?
I was doing all that.
Yeah, and so
not hard drugs. I just pop pills here and there. I've never been on no hard drugs.
When was the first time that you sold your body for sex?
I was 18 years old.
How did that happen?
So I was working at this restaurant, and this girl was like, "You're so pretty." She's like, "There's no way, like, why do you work here? Let me," like, she was just, and I was so infatuated with how she was just talking to me, like, "You're so beautiful. There's other ways you can make money. Girl, you should come and join me. I have a guy friend. He's going to come and take care of you," and, you know, trying to sell me this dream of what I could have. Like, he's going to invest in you. This all, like, just a snake just slid, like,
making it sound so
smooth. Like, she's smooth with the tongue. Like, I'm gonna have this perfect life if I come and join whatever she's doing. And they put me on, and that's how I got started.
Wow. So you knew exactly what you was going into when you did it.
Not really.
Once she broke it, we actually all sat down, they broke it down.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't forced. I wasn't sex
trafficked. Of course,
trafficked.
you already been cutting up and being rebellious. At this point, you done pop pills, you drinking, you doing everything, you going out, you kicking it. You might come home, you might not. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden you like, man, let me, you know, she say she getting money, right? And so I'm gonna get some money too. And I ain't working up here. Where was that you was working?
I was working at a pizza.
At a pizza. You like, I'm not gonna be throwing these pieces up and down no more. I'm tired of this. Damn these pieces. I'm gonna go. I know what to do.
She's like, but you make every 2 weeks. You can make that in a day if you wanted to, and I did.
Of course.
So, but hold on. But so, were you taking I know you said Kristian does what Kristian want to do, whether good or bad. But at that point, because of the things that you had been through, were you taking the drugs and doing the things that you were doing to numb the pain?
I just wanted to, because my mom tried to really shelter us, like I said, just out of protection.
So you were just being rebellious more than anything.
I was like,
having a good time. What are you talking about?
Being rebellious, but also just experiencing life.
Yeah.
I'm around grown folks doing grown folks stuff.
And people that's getting on pills and drinking and smoking and kicking it, they having a good time. I don't know what the hell you talking about. They is kicking it. Like, this is what righteous living is. This is what people do in the streets. I was partying. You couldn't tell me nothing.
You weren't on no pills?
But I was drinking and smoking and kicking it, and it's a rush to make money. All that stuff is the same high, really, even if you're getting high. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're basically trying to do what the flesh wants you to do, really, to be honest with you, and you want to make it whatever makes you tick. So if it's a pill for her, if it's money for me or liquor for me, it's the same. You're just trying to get there. So people having a good time, partying, and that's what you was doing.
Yes.
I'm talking about kicking it. And then all of a sudden, you get out here and you start doing this. When did it become a thing where was the guy a pimp, right?
Yes.
And did he ever become abusive to you as well?
He was not abusive.
Smooth as hell.
He was.
I probably know
crazy.
The nigga. You know what I'm saying?
You might.
I'm telling you, I'm a street dad.
One of my pimps is still a pimp to this day.
I'm telling you, I
Dallas.
probably know him.
He's an active, known pimp.
Okay.
In Dallas, I've had a few pimps. I've had 3 total because I did become a
renegade.
I became a renegade. I said, because
Look, how you know the terminology? Though?
Yeah, how do you know the terminology?
We be interviewing.
How she know the term renegade?
Yeah, I mean, she like, I'm running thing, but then that can be looked at different ways. Like you basically start figuring it out in your own.
So once I got put on, I'm like, I was making a lot of money. That was before Backpage got shut down.
Yeah, I was jumping.
It was jumping. You could make thousands in a week.
That's
like
right.
if you actually went hard and you had a quota. You met your quota every night. I'm giving that man thousands of dollars a week. I'm talking about I can make up. The most I ever made probably in one night was $3,000. And that's just off seeing just, it's not like I'm having sex with just all these men, but you try to have higher end clients so you're not having to just get ran through, because so you want higher end clients because they're going to pay for your time. They're going to pay for to experience you, and there's different things that go into that.
I got a question because I'd asked this question before, but were you given? Well, first of all, were you in love with your pimp?
No.
Okay, because most pimping kids.
Wife.
No, that don't matter because some of these
wife and kids and all that, and
a lot of these.
I would say care of his household, but
a lot of these girls usually fall in love with them and stuff like that because they'll have multiple women and so forth. But the reason why I'm asking that because Pimpin' Ken said like he would always get.
That's my dog.
He would always get all of the most of these because we've had multiple pimps and multiple ladies who came on the show.
Wow.
And they would give all of the pimps all of their. Yeah, they've been on here. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Everybody on Boss Talk.
They've given all of these people, all of the pimps get all of the money, so to say. And one thing I could never understand, as a female, the only money you get is to go get your hair done, your nails done to make sure you look good. But I'm like, where is the 401k in this career?
Where's all these things that you spoke about?
Because here's all of the money that you're making, but you're giving this man all of this money, and you left with what? You can't build up any money. So what are you in this field for?
Nothing to show for to this day.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. If you were able to,
no, all he did was invest in our looks. That's all he invested in.
That's what all of them do.
And made sure that I had a car. I've always had a car, so he made sure my car note was paid and and I got gas. But and that's for I can go to an out call, so I can go where I need to go.
So you didn't realize that. Hey.
Oh, it clicked when I had a wad of, I had like a big stack of money, and I had handed it over to him, and I was just so upset to where I started sneaking because I would text him. He would know like every date that I would catch because we had a protocol. You tell him when you're going to pick up a date, you'll pick up the date, and then you'll tell him when the date is over and how much. So he's keeping track of my money. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I would lie and I wouldn't tell him I caught a date because I would I'm like, I need to, I'm not seeing nothing from this. I'm not getting anything out of this besides getting my hair and nails done. I look good, but I'm not reaping the benefits of any. I'm the one laying on my back.
Right, and I could never understand how women did that unless you are just so in love with the person that you're just giving. That's why that's why I asked that question first of all. I'm like, were you in love with him?
No, I want to ask you a real question. Like, how did you get used to laying with different men every night?
You don't get used to it.
How did your mind? Where did your mind go? How did you figure out how to do this and be comfortable with it?
You're not comfortable. My anxiety was through the roof. I had to really dissociate in the moment of the act. I had to just go to a different place and put a block up in my brain. But I was still in a very, very, very dark place while I was kind of just going through the motions. Okay, this is what I got to do. Okay, Kristian, like talking to myself, it's going to be over. But also had that fear of when I'm meeting up with someone, is this going to be my last time? Exactly. Are they going to? I had a fear of dying. I said, is this man going to murder me? I don't know what their intentions are. Mm-hmm. And it's not more safe that they come to you or you go to them. Because if they want to kill you and rape you and do whatever to you in a hotel room, or if you go to an out call and you go to their home, neither one is more safe than the other. Exactly. Because if they want to get you, they can get you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. There's stories, you hear stories of them killing girls all the time.
Yes, or abusing them.
That was happening a lot during that time. A lot of the women were dying within the DFW. I remember it was a white girl. She had died. I can't remember her name. And there was another girl who got stabbed on Harry Hines. Like, it was actively happening, and I was scared to go to work. Like, I was like, I don't know what these men's intentions are when they walk through this room or when I walk in their house. Like, it's literally a stranger.
Let me ask you something. Hustle Mom was on the show, and we talked, and she told a story about when she got her lip busted. Mm. Because what was that story? I think it was more like something to do with a trick, doing something. She tried to play a game with a trick. Like, you got to think about it. There are so many games that be played. I've heard stories of girls told me about. I just went in there. I didn't even do nothing. I just basically let him. I told him go clean up, and when he went in, I just got the money and left.
I was too fearful to do that. I've never robbed a man, never set a man up.
But you've heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I was too scared because I just felt like because we post ads online, we're so easy to track. And you could block their number, do whatever. He can get his homeboy to set you up. You thinking you meeting a new client and they really connected to the guy you just robbed. I was just too scared. I was already very fearful in doing it.
These pimps, do they really protect y'all?
No, they don't, because
aren't they supposed to? Isn't that what they're supposed to? They
are supposed to, but what also provoked me to leave was when I had went on a out call. And I really wanted to meet my quota that night. It was because sometimes you got ups and downs. Some days you make a lot of money. Some days you don't make as much money. And I wasn't making that much money that day. And so I took it, even though I had a gut instinct, which now I know that it was because the Holy Spirit has always been with me and protecting me. But I just thought it was just like an unction in it's just me telling me. Mm-hmm. But I was like, you know what? Something tells me not to go, but I really need to make this money for this man, for my pimp. I said, I'm going to go. So I went into the out call. It was in Arlington. And I went into the apartment, and there was just trash. It looked like almost like a trap house. And I'm like, So something fell off in my spirit. And I still walked through the door. And as soon as I walked through the apartment door, the lights cut off, and he's strangling me. And my feet are dangling in the air.
Wow.
As I'm kicking and screaming for my life. And to this day, y'all, I cannot tell you how I got out. It was by the grace of God that I got out, because it was pitch black, and he was I just kept thinking, I hope this man doesn't kill me. All I hear is him threatening me and saying all these things that he was going to do to me, and I'm like, Kristian, you got to find a way to get out. And I don't know how. I can't tell y'all how I ran out of that apartment, but I got out.
Let me ask you this: you went through that lifestyle for how many years?
10
years. Over the 10 years, now, you know me, I think about this stuff all the time, because I was almost a pimp. I started to, and I pulled up. I was like, I quit. I did it for one day. I told her, get out my car. I'm not doing this. I can't. I'm too busy trying to get money. I remember this day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I never thought that was enough money for me, even though guys explained it to me. I was like, no, I can do way more than that. You know, I'm just saying that's how I felt. So
you got to wait around for the money.
I'm not doing that.
It's a sit and wait game.
I'm a hustler. I'm going to go get it. And they ain't going to wait on no woman to give it to me. It got to be way more money than that. But anyway, Some people do. They got the patience. I don't. That's their business. But the stories I've heard on Boss Talk, I've asked these questions often, and they tell me that once a woman, me and Rollo the Pimp, we talked about this.
Oh, Rollo. Okay.
Yeah, when getting peeled for they girl, and basically she leaves because she finds a new pimp.
Yes.
And once you
when
go to this,
they choose up.
They
choose up.
Did you ever choose up?
I did not choose up. No,
really?
I've
so
never.
You stayed loyal to every pimp that you was with?
Not that I stayed loyal. I just couldn't grab, because I wanted safety. I wanted that love. I wanted affection, because you would have sex with your pimps, right? And I'm just like, I'm still not satisfied. So I was under pimp for a little while, and then I'll go be a renegade.
Oh, you just go to be a renegade?
Yeah, I would just.
You wouldn't go to another pimp.
But have other pimps approached you?
I've had two other pimps.
Let me
Have they approached you to try to get you though? Other pimps.
So I was considered a carpet hoe.
Okay, I know exactly what that is.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't touch.
Okay.
I've only touched the pavement one time. I only hit the
She ain't
blade.
out there on the street. You know, I
have only hit the blade one time, and the time that I did, these men got out of the car and tried to rob me and shoot me. I turned around and I was praying to God. I literally said, Lord, and I should have been repenting and asking for forgiveness and asking that if they do kill me, Lord, come and take my soul so I don't go to hell. But I turned around and I said, God, if they're going to shoot me in my back, at least don't allow me to see it. And I turned around, because if you're not supposed to turn around when you got guns at you.
Of course, you're right.
And that was so stupid, right? To just turn around. You don't know what's about to happen.
And you turned around.
I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to see the bullet coming.
Right.
And I ran, and that was the last time I ever hit the blade. And it scared the mess out of me. So I was completely, when I say a carpet hoe, I was only on the internet. I was put up in nice hotels. I didn't go and run the blade and get in and out of cars and run the streets all day.
So you never did, nobody ever peeled you? I was trying to figure that out, you know.
He tried.
Because you got to think about it. When somebody, they told me how when somebody peel, they'll call the other guy and be respectful to him.
Crazy.
And be like, hey man, I got your girl. What she like? She on medicine. What she like? What kind? You got some clothes you want to bring for her? These niggas really had an organized way that they conversate with each other about the girl that got peeled, and I thought that was really live. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
you thought it was live.
Like, yeah, like the respect for you to do that.
Yeah, it's all. They're really big on respect in the game.
Correct.
Respect is a really big thing when it comes to prostitution.
That's what
pimping and hoeing. That's
best thing going. That's what they used to say.
That's what they say. It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
But I'm just telling you what the conversations be like. But when you talk.
That's the lingo.
Yeah, when they talk about it, and I read Pimpology by Pimp and Ken. I looked at all of these things that they do. I've talked to certain women, went to the casinos and seen the girls sitting in Vegas. I'd be like, what you do? And they'd be like, man, I make $25,000. I said, really?
Yeah, they do.
You making it like that? So
yes,
I've talked to these people.
They
Never
really
have been with none of them, but I'm really just a person that talk to everybody, as you already know. I talk to everybody. Like, we for the talk. What are you doing? They're sitting over here at this machine like this. And that's the way it be, like, you know.
Yeah.
And they be everywhere, but that's the carpet. That's how I found out about the carpet.
I was a carpet hoe. So, and if you really have a slick mouth and you know how to dress and make yourself look beautiful, because you know your body is your product that you're selling. You don't have to just be posting ads all day online. You can go into a like a bar, like at a country club. You can go somewhere high end, a nice 5-star restaurant, and sit at a bar and pick and choose who you think is going to break bread with you and really, seduce the man. And that night, if you don't have a hotel room, get that man to pay for it so you don't come out of pocket. If you know how to run game, get him to buy your hotel room, and then the rest of the night you just making money.
Because I've heard some females would say it's best that they get like. Some would keep like 3 Johns, and these are the same ones that they see all the time. And it's like for them, that was always the goal for a carpet.
That is the goal, to remain consistent with
just 3. You don't have to worry about it.
So you're not constantly just having sex with just random men, and then these are your loyal clients.
And they got bread, and they'll pay for everything.
And then you kind of form a relationship with you, and they let their guards down. They think you're kind of like their girlfriend in their head, because they'll talk to you about their wives, their jobs, and you know everything about this man's life because he just got so comfortable with you.
You almost have like a black book on a whole bunch of people.
Oh yeah.
But let me ask you this though, because I've heard of some of them actually end up getting married to some of their Johns.
I've heard of that.
You understand? And change your life, like get out of business, whatever. But that's rare.
That's rare. It does happen though. It does happen.
Okay.
It does.
When you look back at your whole, this whole thing, what was God trying to show you through all of the stuff that you went through? When you look back, you know what I mean?
Because you got to meditate on it.
Because when I look back at my stuff, I start thinking about the entrepreneurship and knowing how to hustle and getting money. I knew that all the time, even to what I'm dealing with now. You know what I mean? And it's a thing that God gives you where it's a gift in the stuff that you went through, even though you went through it.
Yes.
You had a gift. It was maybe a gift to gab. It may have been a gift to know how to deal with money. It may, you know what I'm saying? But it's something. It's a gift, and your gift will make room for you.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And it's still in you right now, and it was there the whole time.
Yes. So I feel like I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit. It just got perverted. I've always had the drive to get up and go get it in any way. It was just perverted. So I believe I've always had that, and the devil just came in and perverted it.
How did you compensate for like leaving the money like that, having that type of a, you know what I mean, having finances coming in like that, and then now having to go and do a 9-to-5 job? Let's talk about that.
Oh my God!
You know, I interviewed. That's what
And how old were you when you left? Because I know you told us the reason why.
27.
She said that, but I'm trying to figure out how, when she left, did she adapt?
And did you have money when you leave?
I had a little bit of money put up because I've lived around the DFW, so I've always had my own apartment, my own car, my own everything. Everything was always in my name. So that's what I'm used to. I'm used to sleeping all day or not sleeping, getting up. Mind you, like we can make money. I can make my rent in 3 hours. I can go clock in, post an ad at 12 a.m. and be done working by 3 a.m. depending on how much I made off one or two clients. And you're really trying to pursue just one client, and hopefully he's high paid and he'll tip you out on top of what your rate is.
Right.
So to go from making my rent in one day to having to humble myself and go to a 9-to-5, it's almost like and I don't know if I can compare because you've been to prison, right? Someone who's been in prison, you only have your mind, and you're so used to like a certain lifestyle, being a certain way, and so coming out of that is just like it didn't feel natural, and still to this day, I just don't understand how people can work 9-to-5s. Now I have, but I don't like it.
When you came and you came on out of there, and what was the thing that when did you hit the brick wall to know that you had to come out of it and God had changed your life and He was calling you from that lifestyle?
So I had a friend, and he knew what I was doing. He was actually, I didn't consider him a brother in Christ, but that's what he was at the time. He was just a friend who really just cared about me and my soul. And he was like, we had known each other for the same amount of time I've been a prostitute, 10 years. And he was like, Kristian, I really want you to like come. I'm at this new church. Come to church. And I'm like, I'm a prostitute. You know that prostitutes don't come to church. Why would I come to church? I'm like, I could be making money instead of coming to church. And he was like, just come to Bible study. I went, and I was like, okay. They were praying and singing, and I was just like, I had a whole attitude the whole time. I'm like, I'm not singing, I'm not praying, and people were looking at me like, why is she just, mind you, everyone's praising the Lord, hands up in the air, praying, singing.
It's Pentecostal.
And I'm just like, okay, is this over yet? I showed up like he asked me. And then one of the people at the front, I don't know exactly who he was, like a minister, he pointed me out, and he was like he was speaking life over me and just saying how God loves me and how he didn't know nothing about me. He was just speaking life over me, just pointing me out of everyone that was there. He pointed me out, and I guess God was just trying to give me a message that He's with me and that He wants His daughter back. And then I went to, so I was still prostituting, and I went to Bible study one time, and then so I was born July 7th. So that night before, I am trying to make money. I'm trying to catch a date, flip a trick, whatever you want to call it. And I ended up not making no money. So my birthday fell on a Sunday. So that night, Saturday, you know, going into your birthday, you go out, it's midnight, you turn it up. I'm trying to make some money. I went to a cigar lounge in Dallas, and I'm trying to catch a date. Didn't make no money. And that never happens. Didn't make no money on my birthday. And went home. And church started at 11. I was like, so I went home around 4 a.m. And I was like, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm going to go to church. And that's when my life changed.
Wow. That's so beautiful. You know, the thing is, like, you don't never know how he going to call you, right?
Yeah.
But when he call you, it's something else, man, because when you look in the book and you think about Mary Magdalene, you know, any of those women that just got close to Jesus and never looked back to no other way. I'm with Jesus now. I'm with you, Martha, but I'm going to be over here with Jesus. You know, the one thing I can tell you is, you know, God, he knows exactly where you at, what you was doing the whole time, right?
Yes. He was always, and it was so crazy because, and people may, you know, look at me sideways or funny, but I would because I always had reverence for the Lord. You know, I always knew who God was because my grandmother, you know, I was a grandma's baby and I grew up with because my mom was always at work, so I grew up with my grandmother a lot. She was always taking care of us. She would, you know, take us. She was always in church. So I always knew of God. I just never lived for God. I knew about God, but I never really truly received him in my heart. So there would be times I would go and be like, God, please protect me. You know, because I would be so fearful that I'm going to be the next victim. I'm going to be on a T-shirt. I'm going to be chopped up or, you know, sent off to a different country to become like this sex slave that they make these girls just sit in these dark rooms and just they're all dirty. Like this is really happening, and they're becoming just tormented and abused. And I was like, Lord, don't allow me to get murdered or die doing this. But in the back of my head, I kind of accepted it as my fate, and I thought that I was going to die a prostitute. I had accepted that. Wow. And I came to the resolution that was my fate, and I didn't think. That's why I started getting tatted up because I'm like, I'm never working for nobody. You can't ever catch me working a 9 to 5. You know how much money I done touch, I done made, and I'm like, so I started. But also, as I become adult, I smoked weed here and there, but I never like popped pills or did anything like that. And so I was getting tattoos to cope with what I was going through. Yeah. And I thank you. They helped. I felt as I was getting them, it kind of numbed me, and the pain, even though they physically hurt, it did something. Like I got off by it, like as far as dealing with whatever I was going through, the pain. Type. It was almost like meditation because I wasn't turning to God. Still, I was still, you know, doing what I was doing, and I used that as a way to kind of deal with what I was doing because
it gave you a place of peace.
Yes, even though it was painful, the pain almost felt good. I can't really explain it.
I get it. I think you when I think about you and the times you was going through this stuff, I got to think about the strip club. Did you ever end up getting caught up in the strip club? I
stripped one.
That's right.
Yes.
Where was you popping it at?
So I only stripped one time, and I was like, this is not for me. I stripped out a hole in the wall. Like a little after hours in Dallas, and I'm like, it was me and some other girls at the Pimp that I.
And how long had you been in the prostitution game?
I was probably already in there like 8 years.
Okay, so you like, I'm gonna run over and see what they do.
I'm gonna just see, like maybe I'm just trying to touch as much money as possible. That's the goal. And if I ain't gotta have sex, that's even though their women are having sex, of course, in there. But if I cannot have sex and make money somehow, I'm gonna try to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to have sex I'm not having to put so much on my body. So and that you gotta really have a hustle when it comes to stripping. Like it's not as easy as you think it is dancing on that pole. It's tiring and your body hurts afterwards, and it just wasn't. I did try it though.
How many days was you out there?
Where?
How long was you over there?
She said only one day.
I did it one night.
So you paid tip out or you didn't pay tip out?
We had to pay to get in.
Okay.
So that was the thing. So whatever I had made that night, I just kept it.
You tired? You said I ain't going back.
I said my body hurt. I said I gotta do too, and I gotta do tricks and do. I said I'm not. I'm a pillow princess. I'm used to just laying on my back, and you put the money on the counter. I counted, and we go.
It's over.
30 minutes, and we out of here.
What was the weirdest thing John ever asked you to do?
Yeah. But now I'm gonna put Hustle Mom's
Because hers was
story
crazy.
right here, right now. This is what Hustle Mama said.
Yeah, she had somebody do number 2.
Yeah, hers was crazy.
Yeah, I've been asked. Okay, I guess I can just go into it. I've been asked if if I could have a man come inside of me, and then another man come and eat his semen out of me. I've been asked that. He didn't want to have sex with me. He just wanted to eat it out of my private area.
Wow.
Yeah.
He on that Diddy stuff.
So
That's
I was.
the weirdest thing.
That's what Diddy.
That's not the weird. I'm just naming a few that I could that I can remember because
Remember.
I've gotten asked some crazy stuff. So I've got asked that. I've gotten asked if I can peg.
Yeah.
If y'all know what pegging is,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it on here because it's too vulgar. But I've been asked to peg a man before. I have been asked to urinate on a man before, and I did none of those things. I didn't participate in any of the things that I was asked.
I was just about that. That was my next question. Did you ever turn any of that down?
Because I want to let y'all know I had a hatred for men, and God had to remove that stone in my heart. I hated men, and they probably looked at me like, you're nothing. You're selling your body. But I looked at them. I said, you're lame. You paid to have sex with me. Like you're a loser. And like I just looked at men as a dollar sign. Like I didn't see faces or them as humans. I saw a dollar sign. What can I get about you?
Wow.
How can I run game on you?
So even during all of that time, did you ever have a boyfriend?
No, I've never dated. I've never had a boyfriend. No.
Even till today.
Even till this day, I got robbed of that. I've never got to experience having a boyfriend because I was always in prostitution. And your pimp is essentially your boyfriend. And I've only had 3 pimps. So,
wow,
do you want?
Yes, I want to get married and have children. And
you want to make?
Have you gotten over that?
Yes, I want a husband.
Have you gotten over hating men?
Yes, God healed me from that.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's triggers. There's always triggers. I was going to ask you about.
Of course,
about looking back. Like sometimes, like dang man, like I remember when I used to make that because being a hustler, you always, I quit selling drugs 30 years ago. But there's things that I had to figure out to keep me from even thinking. I never will go back because once God changed your life, you will never go back. If you're a person that really believe in God, like you never. It's like a dog going back to his own vomit.
Yeah, but and I've even been told by ministers, Kristian, if you ever go back to that lifestyle, it's gonna be very short lived, and you're gonna die very quickly. God's already warned me.
Yeah,
and not that I have the desire to go back. God uses people to warn you as a mouthpiece, and I've been told if I ever go back.
Yeah, because the devil taps on your shoulder every day.
It's going to be very short-lived. I'm going to die a quick death. So
let me say this: so as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right. So if a person speaks certain things in your life and you believe those things, then that can become you. Or if you think and believe those things yourself, they can become you because we create things. That's why when God came and said, let there be light, and there was light, stuff like that. We're very powerful and we don't give ourselves enough credit. Usually everything we do, we say it before we do it. You know what I mean? So we are creatives, I believe. You know what I mean? So what am I saying? I'm just saying basically I think the main thing is you stay focused on what God would have you to do. You know what I mean? Read that word. That word is a light unto your feet, a lamp unto your path. The word is where prayer, like she just talked, it's the strength, it's the power. You know what I mean? It lies in prayer. It lies in reading, fellowshipping, and being around the right people, having the right friends. All this stuff is the ways that God connect us as the body of Christ, right?
Yes.
So I think that's so important to know your place in Him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because we are members fitly joined together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And not to get off
go ahead,
track or subject, but I wanted to mention before I dedicated my life to Christ, May 3rd of 2024, I tried to commit suicide.
Wow.
And 2 months later, then I rededicated my life to Christ. So it's like the devil knew what was about to happen and he tried to take me out. I had overdosed on 150 pills. Mind you, I was already on medication because I had, the depression and all
everything.
that. So I was seeing a mental health doctor that morning he had just gave me refilled all my prescriptions. I went to the it was actually this purple tattoo. This is a cover up because I had got a man's name tatted big on my neck. That's why this looks like this. It's dark and not as pretty as my other ones because it's a cover up.
It's beautiful.
It's a cover up, man. I was wilding out.
You're saying it's not as cute, but to me, that was the dopest one.
This was not as nice.
So you said that. To me, it was the dopest one. Now you done made it something else. See what I mean by being creative? I thought it was beautiful.
It's a cover up.
What did you think? Did you think anything about it?
Why did you try to commit suicide?
See what I'm saying?
So, that, and I didn't even know. Now that I'm in Christ, I can tell you what was going on. A week prior of me trying to commit suicide, I was going through spiritual warfare. At the time, I thought I was just going insane. Mm-hmm. I said, these pills aren't working. What's going on? I was on 2 SSRIs. I was on sleep medication, I believe trazodone, and I was on Xanax for my panic attacks. And I was like, none of this medication is working. I'm losing my mind. I was seeing dark figures. I call them dark figures at the moment, but now I realized they were demons. I was seeing demons. I felt like my skin was crawling. I can't even explain it. I hope I don't want anyone to ever have to experience this, but I really felt like I was losing my mind. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. And then when I did sleep, I was getting attacked in my sleep. And I don't know. You would have to almost lose your mind to understand.
And that's the reason why you tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, it was. And then I don't know. Something just came over me. I left the tattoo shop. I'm on my way home, and I just pulled over, and I said, you know what? I started thinking, what triggered me? I started thinking about my daddy. I started thinking about my dad. I don't know why I was thinking about that man leaving the tattoo shop, and I pulled over into the shopping center in Watauga, and I called my friend on FaceTime. He was a truck driver at the time, and he's in a whole different state. And I just started venting and going off, and he's like, what is going on? Like, where's this coming from? He knows a little bit about my life, but not really too much personal stuff. And I was just like, I just remember going out. Last thing I remember was saying, y'all think it's a game. I'm about to show y'all I'm for real. I'm about to, like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm leaving. I'm tired of this. I'm about to kill myself. Y'all think it's a joke. Y'all think it's a game. I've been dealing with so much and nobody cares. And he was like, Kristian, please tell me where you're at. And I did not share my location with him. And I opened up, it was 4 pill bottles. That's how they know it was 150. I took all 3 of them, and he said that I just completely blacked out. And he said he didn't want to hang up because, he wants to be there for me, but what can he do?
What can he do?
So he ended up having to hang up, unfortunately, and he called a friend who knew my mom. My mom was not managing. It's like midnight. My mom's not answering. No one's answering. And so they're trying to just get in touch with me somehow, maybe see if someone has my location. They got nothing. So they called the local 911 and they told them what happened, and then they ended up pinging my phone to the cell tower. That's how they got me. And they busted out my back window and got me out the car, rushed me to the hospital. So mind you, a few hours done went by. If
it wasn't for him,
a few hours done went by, and I get to the hospital. Obviously, this part I'm telling is what the doctors told me all what happened. Obviously, I'm out of it. I'm not aware of anything that's going on. I wake up and my chest is hurting, and I'm like, and I see this woman in the corner staring at me. And as soon as I woke up, she immediately alerted the doctors. They came in and talked to me. They're like, it's a miracle that you're still alive. They're like, do you know what you did? And I'm like, what's going on? And I said, all I know is my chest is hurting and I don't know why I'm in the hospital. And I was like, did y'all try to do chest compressions or resuscitate me? They said no. We had 5 nurses holding you down. Mind you, like, even now I weigh about 160 pounds. I was like about 150. I'm 5'5", 5'6". So I'm not a big girl. So for y'all to have 5 people holding me down, I had to be possessed. That's something. I'm not that strong of a woman to where you gotta have 5 adults holding me down. They said that's why your chest hurts. They said we did MRIs and CAT scans on your brain to look for like internal bleeding and any brain damage. They said you should have been either brain dead or in a vegetative state. And they're like looking at me like, do you understand? Like, we don't, like, you're here right now. Like, do you understand? It's a miracle. And I'm looking at them like, thank you for saving my life. But like, no, like, I don't know. I'm glad I'm here because I would have been dead if no one would have came and got my body.
I gotta say, you know how with your father, people come on the show all the time, and you know they talk about their father not being there. And what I've learned from that, and every case is different. I always go back to like, if you could ever sit down with your dad and just ask him how was he raised, his mom and his dad, and you know stuff like that, because people become a product of how they were raised and the environment they were around. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Do you know his parents on his side? Do you know nobody?
I know his daddy was in his life. I don't know too much. And then my mom, she's adopted. I really don't know too much, but also because I want to reach people, because I was more than just a prostitute. I also dealt with, I'm an advocate also for mental health. And I want people to know that I also suffered with that. It wasn't just prostitution. I suffered in my mind. It was a mental battle, and so they kept me in. I want to finish. I want to finish a story about how when they told me how it's a miracle that I'm still here. That they said when I got there and they finally got me to my room, they said I was very violent and combative, and that they said that I kept getting up out of the bed and trying to leave the room, and they said that this entire time this is happening, my eyes are rolling in the back of my head.
Wow.
They said my eyes are rolling in the back of my head, and that I ripped out my IV twice. And they also changed me into, the hospital gown, because they cut my clothes off. It was an emergency. They cut my clothes off. They put me in a hospital gown. They say I urinated on myself, and then they had to change me again. I kept getting up. They had to strap me to the bed. So I'm like, I had to be possessed. I was possessed at the time, because they said my eyes were just rolling in the back of my head. They were talking to me. I was not replying back to them, and I was just fighting. Like I was like in almost like a war.
Spiritual war.
It was definitely a spiritual warfare. It was God and the devil, and obviously God won. He always has the victory and everything. But they kept me there for a few days, and I'm thinking, okay, they just check it. They're like, we just want to regulate, make sure you're doing fine. No, that's what they said. But their intentions were to keep me the whole time. Because while I was there, the doctor's like, the doctor will come in and talk to you. I'm like, okay. They're like, we came up with the conclusion that you're going to a mental asylum. And I didn't. And I'm like, no, I'm not. They're like, yes, you are. They said the state has legal rights over you, and either you can go willingly, or if you choose to get up and leave, the police are going to come and, snatch you out of your house, essentially. And I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I call my mom and she gets some other people together, and they're like, no, legally they can't do that, because when you try to commit suicide, I guess the state can't. That's true, they can take over you. And I'm like, my mom's like, no, my daughter's not going there, and they're like, okay, we'll come to the house with the police. It's fine. We can't make you stay at the hospital. And I was like, Mom, I'm gonna go, because I'm already not in my right mind. And I said, if I have cops, big white men trying to. Mind you, we're in Keller, so I say, I'm gonna catch a case if they come in here and I'm sleeping in my bedroom, they roughing me up and they got me in handcuffs. So I just willingly went to the mental asylum.
How long were you there for?
I was there for a few weeks.
And then they figured out that you were okay, you can leave.
And I should.
How did you get out?
I should have stayed a little bit longer. I'm gonna be completely honest. I should have stayed a little bit longer. My case manager, she even said, you know what, she's not ready. She's not ready to go. And she was right. I was not ready to go. She knew something was still off, and I should have stayed a little longer.
What happened? Okay, so that means that you going there did help you.
Yes, it did. Because we had classes and things. We had a schedule. We ate at a certain time. We did activities and curricular stuff at a certain time. We had therapy at a certain time. You speak to your doctors, and you have your case manager, and you have a nurse who watches you every 15 minutes. They're writing down what you're doing. There's no privacy. Everything's bolted down to the cement floor. You have no privacy. They're watching you in the shower. They're watching you sleep. And like I said, every 15 minutes, they have to notate what you're doing. And then I caught on that And there's people that have been in there for longer. And I caught on, the longer you stay is because you're not cooperating. So if you're not following the plan that they have for you while you're in here, the longer you stay. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to get up and go to the classes. I'm going to do these exercises. I'm going to do all these things,
so
these
group
activities that they're, so I can get out. But I should have stayed in there longer.
What happened when you got out? Why do you feel that way?
Because I feel like those people actually in there actually did want to help me.
Yeah, but look at you now. You know, I'm going to say this, you know, you're a blessing. Thank you for coming on the show. I want to ask you also, it was one more thing. Yeah, social media, seeing you on there, doing your thing, telling your story. What are you looking for in that? What is your game plan with the social media and telling your story the way you do on IG and all that other good stuff?
So my main vision and the reason why I am so vulnerable and I tell my story on my social media is to be an advocate for sex workers who are still bound in that lifestyle. There's so many women who are still imprisoned and they feel like there's no way out. And because God has brought me out, He is the ultimate redeemer. I believe that my transformation will help other women have hope and have faith that if God can do it for them, if God can do it for her, He can do something for me, you know? So I have a burden for sex workers, all the way from prostitutes to strippers, OnlyFans models, anyone that's in the sex work. I have a burden for them, and I intercede and I pray for them all the time. So my motto is I'm going back for all the ones that thought they were forgotten. That's what I believe the mandate on my life is, to go and get them. Man,
thank you so much, man. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
I have one last question. Yes. Should a person's testimony be celebrated, or can constantly retelling their past keep them trapped in it?
Say the first part one more time.
Should a person's testimony be celebrated? I mean, people will say you keep talking, like we have people in people's comment, they talk about people who've been in prison and they come on and talk about all the times they were in prison and what they did and all of that. Yes, they're out now trying to make a difference and stuff like that. Some people are like, well, you're celebrating it. Why you keep talking about it?
The reason why I continue to share my testimony is because, like the scripture says, we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And I've been through so much. God has spared my life countless times, and there's no way. I was in the game for 10 years, and thousands of women have died, and I made it out somehow. I don't know, but it was by the grace of God, and God has always had His hand on my life. But I know there's what I've learned from this is that everything I went through it never was about me. It was about all the other souls that are attached to me, still having a heartbeat to this day. So everything I take the pain, I take the sacrifice, everything that I've gone through, I receive it. Because God, even though I went through some terrible things, God was always there. He always had His angels ministering around me from harm seen and unseen. He's protecting me through it all, because right now I should have been dead in my grave, or I should have been in hell. I tried to kill myself. He's always had His hand over my life. So I know that my purpose in this earth is to fulfill what He has, and that is to call His daughters back to Him. He wants His daughters back, and I'm coming with God. I believe in this hour, God is rising up a group of women who are going to be, I'm getting emotional, who are fearless and who have a heart of Jesus. Because there's so many women who are bound. There's so many women who are dying in this lifestyle. There's so many women that feel like they can't make it out. And if God can do it for me, the same grace that's upon me, I pray that God extends it 10 times fold for them and their lives. And I intercede and I pray for them. I pray against unwanted pregnancies and premature death, and I pray against STDs. I pray for their safety. I pray that God, even while she's in the midst of laying on her back, God, cover her in that moment. Like, I'm praying prayers like that. I really have a burden, and I feel like you don't hear a lot of people praying for sex workers. They pray for the drug addict and the hustler on the street. But who's praying? Who's going out there? You see people on YouTube and TikTok evangelizing to people on the streets. But who's going? I never see them go to the prostitutes. Who's saving their lives? So, and I have a holy anger about that. But you know what? Because no one's done it, I'm going to do it.
Man, I love it.
You know what's that movie? I call him Antoine
Messing
Fisher.
up my makeup, I'm getting mad. Here, it's beautiful though.
But you know what's that movie called with? I call it Rudy and Antoine Fisher, but it's really not Rudy and Antoine Fisher. We just watched it the other day, where it's a Tyler Perry movie, but anyway, what's her name? Woman King. Viola Davis was in there, and she was going to all the sex workers and all of that.
Oh yeah, that was that. Rudy was the one that they was trying to save.
Yeah,
Rudy.
she was trying to save Rudy's guys.
What is it?
What's it? Medea goes to jail?
That's definitely what that is.
Yeah, because that's what that, when you were saying all of that. I know it's a movie, but I always say people get ideas for movies from reality. So I know somebody has to be out there and doing that. And I hope that they can see this and maybe even team up with you, because coming together, it can be a bigger impact than, you see what I mean?
And I've been told that God, when it's in God's perfect timing, there will be a time where I'll make care packages and I'll have people who will evangelize to these women, because it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous to walk up to prostitutes and preach the word. But I believe God, he's always kept his hand on me, and I believe when I go out, he will continue, and he will have people who have a heart and also a burden for these women, who won't have a spirit of fear, but they'll have a spirit of boldness to go out and maybe we'll have homes set up. I don't know what the Lord has, but because I have that burden, I have that desire to go out there and save their souls, I know God's going to make a way.
I'm curious about one last thing.
Okay, and this is you said one last thing.
I know. Since you've given your life to Christ, I know that it comes with a lot of ups and downs. Tell me about a barrier or something that came up that you had to face and you had to overcome it, something maybe the most difficult thing, and how you overcame it. Because he's going to come at you more now.
Since you changed your life.
Yes.
The most difficult thing that the biggest adversary is being completely stripped. I'm so of everything. God, surrendering my life to Christ fully and fully living for him. I'm talking about, I haven't, since I gave my life to Christ, like I said, it'll be 2 years this July. If you're watching this, it's 2026. This July will be 2 years. I haven't had no sex. I've been abstinent this whole time. And, having to figure out life with getting the slow money now and trying to work a regular job. And 2, I can start my business, because I did go to school to become a esthetician, and I'm working on receiving my license right now, because I went ahead and completed the schooling for it. So I want to do that as well. So it's just surrendering to the Lord and allowing to go through a season of purification, sanctification, and becoming intimate with him, because I've tried every man but God. So I gave him a chance, and he has done so much for me than any man could ever do for me. Even if and when God sends me my husband, I won't idolize that man, because God has always come in, and he's showing. When I say he is Abba the Father, and he is showing up and showing out for me, and he is providing in ways and just allowing me to have that daughter-father relationship. And you have to really desire it, because God can be anything that you want him to be, as far as a mother, a comforter, a healer, whatever you're desiring from him. I believe you can get that from him if you go and chase that and you open up your heart to him. So I've just become very intimate with him, and I cry out every night to him, because I want him to be physically here with me, like he once was when he was on this earth hundreds of years ago. I said, God, I wish I could I cry at night. I'm like, God, I wish I could touch you. So teach me, teach me how to have an intimate relationship with you spiritually, because I want to touch you. I want to kiss you. I want to hug you. I want to embrace you. And I can't, and it hurts my heart that I can't, but I know there will be a day that I will be able to do so. So the hardest thing is, because I believe in deliverance, And so every day having to maintain my deliverance, because you can get demons cast up out of you, you can vomit and do all these things, but the Bible says when they come back 7 times, 7 more demons. 7 more demons. Yes. So
the house is swept and garnished.
Yes. So I have to maintain my deliverance. It's a daily walk that I have to, and even because at the beginning of my walk, I turned to masturbation. And that's not holy either. A lot of Christians think masturbation is okay. It is not. It's still defiling your body, your temple, because the Holy Spirit lives within you. So, and just because you start masturbating, the Holy Spirit just don't leave. He's still there. You're quenching the Holy Spirit. He is mourning to the Father. Look, she is defiling her body. So, because I'm used to having sex as many times a day, as much as I want. So I feel like I hope my vulnerability will help another person and there's no condemnation. So I have dealt with I did at the beginning of my journey, giving my life to Christ. I dealt with masturbation. So I have a lot of adversaries, my money becoming depleted and, having to move here and maybe move back here and not have my own place for a little while. It's been humbling.
Well, at the end of the day, God is still God and he sits on the throne. And I think, the things that we go through is for a reason again. And all those things that you just expressed, other people will be able to learn from that as well. You know what I mean? Yes. So, I thank you so much for sharing your story on here today. I think we've needed this show. We ain't had one like this in a minute. I've been having a lot of historical rappers. God bless y'all too. But it's just dope to hear somebody that God enriched and changed their life, like Pr0, the girl I talked about. Stuff that God shows us in Reverend Rodney Taylor that love to show that they like. We try to keep people in here like yourself that been through stuff and that God is changing and taking from strength to strength. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much. How can people get a hold of you if they're trying to reach out and they want to pray with you and the women want to, hey man, I seen you on Boss Talk 101. Yes. I want to try to figure it out too.
Yes. So my social media handler on Instagram is Kristian. It's with a K. It's Kristian worshiper. Worshiper with 1 P. This is Kristian worshiper. Because I love to worship the Lord, so I was like, that just fits me. That goes along. And then my TikTok is the same. So I just have Instagram and TikTok, and I'm working on a YouTube channel. So
okay, thank you so much, and we love you.
Yes.
Kristian is a dope name. It fits you now.
Yes,
right?
Follower of Christ.
Man, let's get to it, man. Thank you, Jesus, for bringing Kristian to Boss Talk 101. It's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101, where the bosses talk.
And we out.
Man.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, bitch.